we should go over the evidence we already have here.
The court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers.
Alright, so we've got 2:30 p.m. for the death. Pierced through the chest by a spear. Got the guide map of Global Studios. This will probably be relevant at some point. This seems like this thing that'll be relevant. Hey there, Grimes. But yeah, Studio 2 is not in use anymore. There's the main gate employee area. When you walk through this gate, your photo gets taken. Actually, did that say anything else? Retrieve from the staff. Powers question mark photo. It's just us, like, someone in the costume that's not Powers. Even though we didn't have super lawyer vision, I'm still just assuming that we're always going to be defending the just and right cause, right? Yeah, so it's taken at 2 o'clock p.m. It's photo number 2, and they couldn't find photo number 1. So that's a little bit of a summary of some of the evidence we picked up. Yeah, I would not suggest Final Fantasy VIII. I would suggest highly against Final Fantasy VIII, Hitomi. There's some people that like it, but I think it's lacking in a huge number of ways. The plot has major holes. The characters shift personality without reason. The gameplay's especially bad, even for a JRPG. Music's still pretty good. Full motion video sequences are pretty well done. And Triple Triad is a fun game that is better than Final Fantasy VIII. That's basically the 3 positives I have to say about FF8. If you want to look way low in my ratings, you can see a little more detail. Well, that's probably spoilery stuff, though, I guess. Yeah. Alright, don't look at that if you haven't played, and you might, but just don't play would be my suggestion. Still. No, see, FF8's not a perfectly solid card game because it has entirely too much fluff garbage around it. It has all this other junk that interferes when you play cards, man. But yeah, how far along is the FF9 for PC? Is that a thing yet? Or for Steam or whatever? Because I know that was in the works. I don't know if it is well implemented or not, but FF9 is a good game, I would say. It still has problems. FF9 still has problems, but I would say 9 is good. It's fairly comparable with 7 in quality. Tomb Raider is probably a better Final Fantasy game than Final Fantasy VIII. I don't. What's up, Edgeworth? The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. Your opening statement, please.
The prosecution will show the court that at 2:30 p.m. on October 15th, the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, killed fellow actor Jack Hammer at Studio 1 of Global Studios. It is impossible for anyone else to have committed this heinous crime. The evidence presented during the trial will all point to this fact.
I see. Very well. I would like to move on to your testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution may call its first witness.
First, I would like to call a familiar face, Detective Gumshoe, to the stand. Grimes, why did I rate Home Improvement Power Tool Pursuit? Because I've played it? This is why it's rated. I've played the game. Hey there, Harry Dolamo. Greetings, sir. Yeah. Edgeworth is, I don't know, I don't know, he's also, well, he's not, he's competent, seems more competent than Phoenix, he just is, really focused on winning, but supposedly he loves, like, he just hates criminals and assumes everyone's guilty. Xenon, Edgeworth is the best prosecutor, so that's why we're seeing him a lot, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Why did I play Home Improvement Power Tool Pursuit? That's a better question. I played because, for whatever reason, a friend suggested it as a blind race game. So 3 of us played it simultaneously, trying to get the farthest, and it was basically an unmitigated disaster. It is an absolutely atrocious game, and I regret playing it, which is not something I can say about almost any other game. Hey there, Shaven Girl! Detective, if you would briefly describe this case to the court.
Yes, sir. I'll explain with a guide map here. To understand this case, it's important to grasp the layout of the studios, see? This here is the employee area. The actors did a run-through of their action scenes during the morning here. This here is the main gate to the studios. The security lady that works at the studios was here at 1 o'clock p.m. on that day. Past the security station there's a gate, see? Past that are the studios. And here it is, studio number 1. This is the scene of the murder, where the body was found. Now, on to the day of the murder, October 15th. There are only 3 people here. The victim, Jack Hammer, the defendant, Will Powers, and a young woman, the production assistant. All the production staff were in the employee area until noon. Then after lunch, the victim, Jack Hammer, went to Studio 1. So that, according to that would be the photo number 1 that's missing, but may or may not be the case. Right after that, oh, she got there at that point, okay. Right after that, at 1 o'clock, the security lady got to the guard station. Now, jump ahead to later that day, 5 o'clock p.m. The production staff came to Studio 1 to perform a rehearsal. Needless to say, the rehearsal was canceled. The time of death was 2:30 p.m. according to the autopsy report. The samurai spear found lodged in the victim's chest was the murder weapon. That's the case, in brief. Anyone like to hear that again?
Hey there, Cryuji. My old hag voice was not the best. I will be the first to admit that. But it worked. Hey there, Arboretic. Supposedly no drop frames on my side, so I don't know. Tell me if it remains a problem. Arboretic, yeah, I think I had Superman 64 and Home Improvement Power Tool Pursuit rated the same, but like we were having a discussion about games that like I actually regretted playing, and like I don't actually like regret playing Superman 64. It had a little bit of so bad it's funny, which I guess some people could definitely find in Home Improvement Power Tool Pursuit. You're like fight dinosaurs on the set of Home.
But anyways, I would rather have never have played that. That would have been a better thing for my life as a whole. Should I listen to that whole thing again? No. I think I can probably remember that. So the murder weapon was a spear. How medieval. Samurai spear, added to the court record. Your Honor, this case is quite simple if you ask one question. And that question is, what did the security lady at the guard station see? Understood. Let's call the security officer to the stand. Oh, well, I guess you'll find out. Will the witness declare her name? It'll probably be a little bit different than last time. It wasn't the most consistent voice. Is that worse than her, like, alien face? No, it's not worse than her alien face, but that's still a horrifying face. That is definitely a horrifying face. Hey, Double Taco. My. That's way too high-pitched. Need to find her voice again. My, aren't you a handsome fellow? I'm afraid I'm a bit flustered. Your name, please. Oh, dearie. No need for you to be embarrassed. Just call me Grandma. Your name, please. Seems Edgeworth has a bit of trouble getting his witnesses to say their names. Greetings, Church. Oh, that's actually your name. Alright, of course it is. Of course it is. Turan, yeah, were you watching Elegy? He was doing this day also, but he was doing this trial, but I think later. Like, I tuned in, like, I thought he was slightly behind me, and it's like, oh, he's slightly ahead of me, I should not watch any more of this. But, yeah, I think he was on the second day of this trial, or something, and this is the first day of the trial, second day of the case? I don't know how to describe it, but yeah. Wendy Oldbag, dearie. So just call me Grandma. It's practically your name. When I was young, I was an old bag, but the old children make fun of me. Believe it, but there was this boy, the captain of the chess club junior high. He called me an old bag because he cried and cried. Objection. I object to the witness's talkativeness. Objection sustained. The witness will refrain from rambling on the stand. Greetings, by the way, Spade. I was just getting to the good part, dearie. Perhaps we can get to the testimony. Now, the witness was the witness was stationed at the main gate on the day of the murder, correct? It's not that different than yes, but that is throwing me off. I know. Get objected upon. Greeting, Clegg. Yes, I was. And to get to the scene of the murder, someone would have to pass by you. You know your stuff, dearie. You may begin your testimony. She sure is one hell of an old bag. On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1 o'clock p.m. Poor old Hammer, the rest, had been doing a run-through there since the morning. I had some errands to run that morning. Anyway, it was 1 o'clock when I got to the guard station. I was at the main gate from then until 5 o'clock. Now, the murder happened at 2:30 p.m., right? Interesting to me, because a certain man walked right by me at 2 o'clock p.m. It was Powers. That man right there, and he was heading towards the studio. You saw the defendant, then? Very well. Let's begin the cross-examination. Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor. Again, Chainsmoker voice destroys my throat. I don't know how much he's gonna talk. I occasionally will throw it out in a voice like that, but it is like actively painful to do. So you can there's one character voice like that in Undertale. Minor character. Hey, last word noise. Yeah, exactly, Double Taco. That's what I'm like. I don't think I can afford to give Old Bag a Chainsmoker voice. Wait, what were errands, actually? I want more information on that. What kind of errands?
Oh, well, you know.
Answer the question.
Actually, I was watching poor Hammer and Powers. Observing, you know.
Observing? Weren't you supposed to be at the guard station?
Whippersnapper! I told you I locked the gate, didn't I? I did my job.
I'm not sure your boss would see it that way.
Anyway, I always watch Hammer's run-throughs. Always. Never missed one in all my years.
Wow, I want to see a Steel Samurai run through too. You could quit being a spirit medium and take up guard duty. Not a bad idea. Jackal, no. It's not Inferno Hot Sky. $2 o'clock. You're sure?
Sure as spit. Well, who was the man? Really, you should try not to get so excited at your age. You might strain something. Now, don't get your skivvies all in a bunch. I'll tell you who it was.
So you saw Mr. Powers?
That's what I said. Got wax in your ears, Sonny.
Nick, this is your chance. Yeah, time to pull out the secret weapon.
I'll say it again. It was him.
That is at 2 o'clock. Okay. There, Pyrophant. Let me get this straight, Old Bag. Miss Old Bag. You've been saying since yesterday that you saw Mr. Powers, correct? But you're talking about the man in this photo, aren't you?
Just a moment, Mr. Wright. Let me see that photo. what is this exactly?
None other than the Steel Samurai, defender of Neo-Old Tokyo. Miss Oldbag, is this the Mr. Powers that you saw?
Of course. Didn't your mama teach you any sense, Sonny? Anyone can plainly see that's Powers, right?
Yeah. Edgeworth has not stumbled this much thus far. Critics do. Well, I wonder. True, Mr. Powers does play the role of the Steel Samurai. But that doesn't mean Mr. Powers is the Steel Samurai.
I know that! I wasn't born yesterday! No one in this court is accusing you of that, Mr. Witness.
That's good dig, good dig. He's having trouble calling her old bag, apparently.
However, you do not have proof that the person in this photo is Mr. Will Powers, do you? Humph! Nosy old man. Of course I have proof.
What? Huh? Even Edgeworth is surprised? The prosecution would like to ask the witness. Please make known all the information in your possession ahead of time.
How was I to know everyone would be so nosy? You should be ashamed, all of you! Anyway, I showed that photo to the young detective. He told me, this isn't any good as evidence, pal. He didn't even give it a second look!
Wow. Old Windbag has left even Edgeworth speechless. He's good.
Let's hear about your proof, then. I never say anything I don't mean, mind you. That morning, during the run-through of the action scene, I saw Powers trip and fall. He broke one of the props. It was a big mess. Apparently, he sprained his ankle pretty bad. Now, look at that picture. You can see he's dragging his leg, see? Clear as day. That's how I knew it was Powers. Happy? So he had a sprained ankle. Very well, Mr. Wright. You might cross-examine the witness.
She's got to be hiding something. I'll press her until she squeals. I should press her on that.
Whippersnapper!
Hey, haven't said anything yet.
I'll have you know I'm not pointing fingers at anyone behind their backs. Everything I've said is on the straight and narrow, the up and up. Youth today always whining about each other, pointing fingers this way and that, and stuff enough to make an old woman cry.
Mr. Wright, please, for all our sakes, try not to upset the witness. I think Edgeworth has met his match. Who was present at the run-through?
Well, let's see. There's Powers, he's the Steel Samurai, then the poor old Hammer, the evil magistrate, and me. And what exactly were you doing? Observing. Just observing.
What about the assistant?
No, she was off moving backdrops around and such.
So she didn't see the run-through then. Trip and fall?
Yes, and to think, he's supposed to be the Steel Samurai. What a laugh. So Powers sprained his ankle. I helped make it better for him, of course. You helped make it better? I kissed it where it hurt. Let's just skip over this part, shall we?
Where was the assistant then?
Oh, her? She was cleaning up backdrops, I think. She didn't know about Powers' ankle.
You may continue your testimony. Yeah, Edgeworth is acting a lot more reasonable so far. I would agree with that. Although, that could change really quick. There you go, Calandris. Yeah, old grandfather in rule. Attorneys can never have more than one photograph on your person. It doesn't really make sense by modern standards, but there are some good reasons for it back in the day. He broke a prop.
Sure did. His own samurai spear.
Oh. His samurai spear. The murder weapon?
Luckily, I was there with my duct tape to fix it.
This strikes me as a significant detail. Thanks, Phoenix! I'd already clipped! Thanks! I wonder if the later games in the series treat the player with any respect. Probably not. Hey, Fragfit! What happened with the Mia case? Well, it turned out Red White of Blue Corp with purple hair and pink clothes was blackmailing people. And eventually we proved that he probably murdered her and exonerated ourselves, but it was pretty vague what happened to him, so he's probably still controlling everything as he is wont to do. I don't know. I better write this down in the court record. Okay, there you go. Was Mr. Powers' ankle badly sprained?
Not so bad that he couldn't walk around. He went to his dressing room to rest up after lunch.
Thus the nap.
Anyway, I saw him dragging his foot when he walked.
Dragging his foot. Okay. I think we've heard enough. Haven't we, Your Honor?
Well, there is one thing that bothers me.
Which is?
Where is this Steel Samurai costume now?
Is Judge being, like, ultra competent here? What is even happening? Actually, well, we couldn't find it. We're looking, though. Anyway, that's not important. The witness did see the Steel Samurai, yes. And it is clear that the person in the Steel Samurai suit was Mr. Will Powers.
I suppose that's right.
Are you sure you're sure, Your Honor? I mean, is it ever wrong to wait and see? Or is it ever correct to wait and see? It hasn't been so far. And I disagree with that statement. Hold it right there. We keep talking possibilities, but we have to agree that this photo shows the Steel Samurai. Nowhere in this photo can we see Mr. Will Powers.
The defense has a point. I also wonder if someone else not caught on camera could have killed Mr. Hammer. We have to consider that possibility also.
Are these, like, cases written by entirely different people? What is even going on? Like, suddenly we're actually considering other possibilities instead of just assuming the defendant is instantly guilty of everything always? I mean, maybe that makes it, like, that would actually kind of make some sense. Like, do I give the game enough credit to say that the cases are changing because Red Wright of Blue Corp is now imprisoned and no longer pulling all the strings, so everyone isn't constantly afraid of blackmail and just has to prosecute everybody. Is the game actually changing based on that fact? I'm skeptical, but I guess a little optimistic? I don't... Interesting. Interesting. The judge had his coffee today. Judge? Do you have your own badge?
Then allow me to remove that doubt from your mind, Your Honor. Will the witness continue her testimony, please?
No need to ask twice. The time of poor Hammer's death was 2:30 p.m., true? The only person I saw go through the studio before then was Will Powers. No one else went there. If they had, I would have seen them. So, if no one else went to the studio, then it would have to be this Steel Samurai who did it. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
Got the photo number 2 thing going on here. Is there any duct tape on the spear here? I don't see it, but I don't know if that's a detail the game is gonna adjust for it. Yeah, it doesn't show it here either. Are you absolutely sure?
Oh, quite, Sonny. Nobody suspicious looking passed by at all.
Clarify? Nobody suspicious looking. Right. What about before you got to the guard station?
You mean before 1 o'clock? Why, everyone was in the employee area before then. And I locked the main gate so no one could get in. It's not like anyone has the ability to climb walls, or could have been there the night before, or any other possibilities. There's none of those. Not to mention...
Are you sure? Yeah, that's... I think I agree with that objection. That was pretty weak, Phoenix. Are you sure? But... Are you sure, though? Huh?
The witness has answered the question. Anyone going into the studio had to pass by the witness.
That's right, Sonny. You let him have it, edgy boy.
The edgy boy? Look at that face from my end, too. Old Windbag sure has balls, or, well, you know what I mean. Old Windbags have a way of skipping over important details, after all. Or, for that matter, entirely forgetting them. How convenient. Something for you to look forward to, perhaps? Rizzle. No one else went there. Photo number 2.